Let me quickly get across to my colleague Gaurav Sawant, who's joining me on the phone line for more on this. Gaurav, clearly the victory that the government was claiming, that is now falling flat. Apart from that, Pakistan's deceit once again out in open. How can the government once again trust them?
You know, this is the biggest issue that's been cropping up in the 26/11 Mumbai terror trial. The voice samples. The Pakistani law is very clear. An accused in a case could be asked to incriminate himself. But this is the issue that the government is claiming that they had moved forward on when Prime Minister Narendra Modi met his Pakistani counterpart Nawaz Sharif in UFA. And the entire strategic community said, how will Pakistan be able to provide voice samples when the law doesn't permit it? Now it remains to be seen whether Pakistan can move around that or not. And this is a major setback. It has been a setback throughout in the past. The forward movement that was expected in UFA clearly hasn't taken place. But once again, sources in the government saying premature euphoria and premature depression both will not lead to forward movement as far as the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks trial is concerned. The ball is in Pakistan's court. They've given an assurance. If they can live up to it, well and good. As if they cannot, India has to be alert to fight back Pakistan-sponsored terror, Ankit.
Stay on with me. Let's quickly also once again listen into what Pakistan High Commissioner Abdul Basit, when questioned about this flip-flop by the Pakistani side, had to say.
We don't seem to be convinced that Pakistan has shown its word.
I am saying I would once again recommend to you to go back and read the joint statement, which clearly says that both sides will discuss ways and means to expedite the trial. So both the sides haven't yet met to discuss the ways and means. So let us wait and do not draw premature conclusions. Thank you.
Smita Sharma, our deputy editor, also on the phone line for more on this. Smita, how do you read this statement by Pakistani envoy? On one hand, we've spoken to the lawyers of Lakhvi, and also it is apparently clear that most of the things that the Prime Minister of Pakistan had said, most likely they will not be able to follow through because of the domestic pressure.
Well, Abdul Basit essentially here is harping a line where he says that don't draw any conclusions on it immediately, which is keeping in mind that what that meeting between Narendra Modi and Nawaz Sharif aimed to achieve in the first place. Because remember, there was a lot of time buying that happened in UFA. There was also that message sent out to the Western world, especially US, Russia and China, of course, who have been asking these two neighbors to sit on the dialogue table, saying that we are trying to be like responsible neighbors. But having said that, let's also remember, Ankit, that this was not a meeting that just happened. That was not just a spontaneous or a pull-aside meeting in UFA. This was a meeting that was thought through, and there was much, in fact, that happened behind the scenes in the run-up to this meeting between Narendra Modi and Nawaz Sharif. And one of the key assurances that had been given by Pakistan was that Zakiur Rehman Lakhvi, though of course out on bail from a Riyala jail, but he is not seen on the streets of Pakistan. He's not openly feeling venom against India. Says that India, of course, has been banging its head against the wall for sending out some 13 dossiers on Hafiz Saeed. Yeah. So, if the law does not permit in Pakistan, is there some other way or some other fresh evidence that is Islamabad willing to look into and maybe try and frame Zakiur Rehman Lakhvi in the days to come? Now, that is something, that is a question that only time will tell.
Gaurav, how do you see this panning out as far as the domestic political compulsions in India is concerned? The government was quick to jump to the gun. They said, the BJP in fact said that a major victory as far as the 26/11 trials are concerned, and now the Congress almost laughing in glee.
Absolutely. It's just a complete role reversal after change in government. When the BJP was in opposition, BJP would attack the Manmohan Singh government for being extremely weak and soft on Pakistan. When Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government is in power, the shoe's on the other foot. The difference, according to the government, is while there's an effort, as Smita was rightly pointing out, there is a lot of pressure from the West to talk to Pakistan, to engage with Pakistan. That engagement will continue, but punishment for Pakistan-sponsored terror will be swift and proportionate. That aspect, the government is very clear that terror, they will ensure that Pakistan does not thrive on spreading terror in India. Now, that's a claim that is followed up on ground. Needs to be seen. But you're absolutely right. The Congress has a big stick to beat the VP government with. claiming that while in the opposition they attack the government, but while they're in the government they're following the same soft line on Pakistan.